You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm my friendship. Oh,
you know what time it is. Roll with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the uttermost to the public housing. And if we don't play, our wide receivers got your secondary shook, so they cook them like Bobby Flay. Hey, stay out of my way and trust me, cause I know it's OH. Somebody please give this brother an IO. Come on.
What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boyz, where we talk about college football with most of the time real fans, with some exceptions like today. I'm Devin. No, I'm just joking. I'm Devin. That's Mello. And as you can see, man, we are just
12-time champ.
We're blessed, right? Because, you know, Mace Madman here, friend of the channel, but it's probably about as far as we can go, man, because he roots for the other team, as you can tell, holding that belt up like yeah, he keeps saying that 12, you know, that's up in the air for debate. But anyway, we're gonna get into that. You know, we're gonna get into that. So, right, chat, moderators, help us out. Do the best you can, man. There's gonna be some another fan base in the chat tonight. The only rule is no personal disrespect. Let them stay in there tonight, man. Let's get that banter back and forth. We're going to start off the show with going through their roster, man, maybe some season expectations. And towards the end of the show, man, we'll get into that other topic that everybody loves, man. But first off, Mello, how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm good. It's good to be the reigning king of the hill, king of the north, national champs, Ohio State Buckeyes. And, you know, Columbus is just a much more beautiful city than that team up north in Ann Arbor. You know what I mean? Even if you are from Ohio and you want to root for the team up north, which is a little odd to me, the only family member in this family doing that. But I'm saying, how you doing, my brother, Maze?
I'm doing great, man. First of all, it's debatable on whether or not Columbus is a better city than Ann Arbor, but that's neither here nor there. Secondly, you know how I feel about that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. Not the city of Columbus, but the cesspool in Columbus. Anyway, but I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to chop it up with y'all. You know, let's get it.
Yeah, man. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get into it, dude. A nice little friendly banter back and forth, I'm sure, is going to happen. We think the Buckeyes have the opportunity to run it back this year. Your last season, man, did not go as you guys planned. Part of it didn't, part of it did. You know what I'm saying? We took that L directly on the chin. So that was some success in your season that you had. But this year, man, got a quarterback coming in, freshman, Bryce Underwood. We know the story, man. Oh, yeah. We know our feelings over here in Buckeye Nation. We've shared our feelings on this channel several times about what we think about Bryce Underwood. We think he has the potential to be an elite football player. That's not a secret, dude. The dude has all the tools. We question where he chose to go to get that development. But tell us your side of it, man. What are your expectations from the quarterback position this year for your team?
That's a great question. First, let me say this. Michigan absolutely had to get Bryce Underwood in last year's class. If you think about it, they missed out on Dante Moore, who's now, in Oregon via UCLA. They missed out on CJ Carr, whose grandfather literally has his name when you walk in the tunnel there to Michigan Stadium. A legend in his own right. I'll leave it at that as far as Lloyd goes. But but by the way, I brought both of them up because those are both Michigan kids, right? Both of them right there in the state of Michigan. Dante Moore was right down the road in Detroit. Sain also for CJ Carr. So this was a must get. Let's start there. Secondly, though, I expect big things from Bryce, but I want to temper that too by saying he's also a true freshman. I expect some true freshman mistakes Week 1, I think it's important. My guy Juju, who was on the show yesterday, brought this up. Take the training wheels off, let him go week 1 against New Mexico. Even if he makes mistakes against New Mexico, we should be able to overcome those, you know what I mean, against New Mexico. And then the following week, you have Oklahoma. And that's where, we really gonna rubber meets the road. We really gonna see what's good. And I'm not saying that should define his season, that game, but it's an early test on the road in an environment that he's never been a part of, never faced. Say what you want about him as a talent, but the talent in the state of Michigan in terms of high school football isn't the greatest in the country. Everybody knows that. This is going to be a major, major step up for him in terms of competition in week 2. But I expect him to have a decent season. I'm on the record as saying he can break or threaten to break Michigan's yards record year 1, which isn't, it's not like we got a bunch of CJ Strouds that are the quarterback at Michigan, at least, in terms of production. So I don't think that's crazy to say with a talent the likes of Bryce. But also, I don't want to jump the gun either. It is that Mikey Keene is back. He's healthy. He's going to have a fall camp now. We'll see what happens. But I do think it's between Bryce and Mikey Keene, all due respect to Jaden Davis. But I think that shit may have sold.
I think Garcia is going to start.
You're wilding.
Hold on. This is why I say it. So I live 2 miles away from where Joey Garcia went to high school, Grayson High School. That same high school, Tyler Atkinson. So that's the only reason I'm saying it's tongue in cheek. It was just a joke. I'm shouting out.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Garcia though. He's a good insurance player.
Yeah. Buckeyes, man, we starting a new quarterback as well. Julian Sain, not a freshman, and I think that gives a little bit of edge there. Not a lot of playing time on the field last year, but did get that experience. But he's been in the program for a minute. Your sophomore year, whether you get on the field much or not, is different from your freshman year. That's known. But, we expect something. We expect big things from our quarterback, but we also expect maybe a couple times where it's obvious he's a first-time starting quarterback. I think that's going to happen, man. But, yeah. From where we stand, obviously you guys are rivals. But we know that Bryce has that potential, to be, an elite quarterback. We'll see if you guys are able to surround him with the team to do that, with the wide receivers and the weapons to do that. That's yet to be seen, and we'll see, man. But Mello, anything to add to the quarterback, and we'll get on to a little bit of.
I think Bryce is gonna. I think he's gonna be good, especially if he's looking for Andrew Marsh a lot. So I think Andrew Marsh is gonna be a hell of a receiver. The problem is you can't just have one, right?
Right.
You need to stack classes at the wide receiver position. So, like, I know you guys like D-line, O-line a lot. It might be time to try to drop some heavy dollars on some wide receivers, as much as I hate to say that for you guys. But
we tried.
But you gotta keep hitting pounding the pavement. You have to keep trying,
for sure.
So I mean, you can't just have one wide receiver because it's too easy to just double or box them in like Texas did with JJ.
Right.
Yeah, M3, I'm curious about this question, man. How confident are you in your coaching staff to develop Bryce and to treat him the correct way that you should treat a freshman quarterback, right? Like some coaches would say, you don't want to just let a freshman quarterback go and make those mistakes, right? You have some of those. I would consider Ryan Day a more conservative quarterback coach, right? He ain't trying to let you go out there and go all willy-nilly and experience that, right? He wants to coach you. It's just a different coaching philosophy. But how do you feel on that and the coaches you guys got in the room there to develop him and treat him accordingly?
Well, I'm very confident in Chip Lindsay and his ability to, guide Bryce along. Everybody else, though, is on the offensive side, especially, and that includes my head coach, question, right? Last year we, and this is something, and, your fans will probably love this, but last year we were told a lot of positive things. I'm going to say that coming out of camp about the quarterbacks that we had, right? Whether it was or Alex Orji, Davis Warren, we were told positive things. Even the guy who is now the wide receiver, one of the wide receiver coaches, who will not be named. But throw those hats in the facts, Johnny.
He's talking to you.
No, he's definitely
He
talking.
just messed up
Johnny,
and
that's
made it
crazy
forward.
to say that about your dude, man. Wow, bro, Johnny.
But yeah, so in terms of, Chip Lindsay does have a track record with quarterbacks, right, and bringing them along. So I think I have confidence in him. Everybody else either lied to me at some point, or I just don't know. So there's that. That's where I'm at with the confidence in the coaches.
Yeah. Hey, that sounds like a pretty logical way of thinking there, man. So that yeah. Props, bro. We'll see what happens in that regard.
What about let me flip that question back. Well, actually, I know the answer to this. You guys, you brought up, and also to your point about Ryan Day and him not wanting to put freshman guys out there and just throw them to the wind. I also want to say this is your situation is different from ours too, right? Especially as far as quarterbacks go. We haven't had the quarterback room that you guys have been blessed to have. It seems like since forever, at least the turn of the century, right?
Yeah.
But now I do, I feel like with Bryce, the guy we have committed in this class, things can turn around.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, on our side, like you said, you already know the answer, man. Ryan Day with what he's able to do, man. Chip Kelly is now gone, so I am curious to see, how Brian Hartline handles the play calling when it comes to a quarterback like Julian Sain, or Lincoln Keenholz is in the room as well. We've got mixed things there on whether we're going to see him in the Texas game or not. So we'll wait and see there. All our marbles are on Julian Sain right now here at the Buckeye Boyz. But
is there a quarterback competition for you guys?
I don't think there is. Yeah, Mello.
In my opinion, no.
Okay.
I think Julian Sain's the guy. I mean, I'm going to put it out there because Steph Ote already threw JJ under the bus. He told Steph that he expects Julian to win the job and be the starting quarterback, and that's the best player in college football right now, and definitely for sure the best wide receiver. So, I mean, if he's saying Julian's the guy, then you could probably take that to the bank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the truth. You can't really even listen to your own coaches when it comes to, is there a quarterback battle or not, right?
About the only more people than anybody.
Yeah. About the only people you can listen to is if you have the ability to talk to players on the team. You might want to listen to what they got to say, and they'll probably give you the answer. But circling back around, man, quarterbacks got to have weapons around them, right? Your team, not known currently as it stands, is getting a bunch of good wide receivers around, your quarterbacks. The running back position, you've had some good running backs come through there. Tight end position, Colson Loveland was an animal on the field. So speak to those three positions, man, and your expectations for this upcoming season.
Yeah, let's start with wide receiver. I think that's the easiest one. You're right. We haven't been. It's been a long time since Michigan at wide receiver had somebody that scared opponents. Right. Ronnie Bell was good at Michigan, but did he necessarily scare opponents? I wouldn't say so. And
Monty Toomer.
Monty. No, it doesn't go back that far, bro. Braylon Edwards was here. My guy Mario Manningham was here. So we've had guys. Steve Breston was a good guy. But anyway, on the current roster, McCulley did just get number 1. I want to point that out. So we are expecting big things out of him. Whether or not he can be Braylon Edwards or Anthony Carter, Brandon Terrell, that's the jury's still out on that. I don't expect that, by the way. Let me say that. Andrew Marsh, a guy that I've had on my channel multiple times. I really like him, but he's going to be a true freshman, a young guy. And Jamar Browder, another guy I've had on the channel, 6'5", big body guy. Not as highly touted as Andrew Marsh, but I think, from coming out of spring camp, and it's not from coaches, by the way, this is from other players. They were raving about the plays that he was making. We didn't really see that in the spring game, but as you all know, that's a glorified practice anyway. So I like where our wide receiver room is going, right? We don't have any proven, dominant receiver. Fred Moore is another guy who showed out late last year, whenever he can get some consistent quarterback play last year, but that's about it on the wide receiver room. Of course,
before you move on, I just had a quick question because you said something, and I want to know the significance of the number one. So at Ohio State, we have the Block O, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it has huge significance to Ohio State. So what does the one represent for the team up north?
Again, it's huge in terms of the expectation that's put on that. The person that's wearing that on offense is what I'm talking about, and it's almost like the 2 on defense for Michigan, right? But specifically the number one, usually given to a wide receiver, usually to the number one wide receiver, that they have, some expectations for. I mentioned Anthony Carter, who wore it, made it famous, really. David Terrell wore it. I think he was the first, 3 1,000-yard season guy. I could be wrong about that. Somebody fact check me. I'm sure they will. And then Braylon Edwards, who kept that tradition going. So those are 3 guys who were All-American, level talent. So having that number really means something at the University of Michigan. Gotcha. Roman Wilson did wear it in 23. He, had a decent season.
Yeah. We're pretty familiar with, I am pretty, like your quarterback position, I'm aware of what you got. I'm pretty in tune. I was a big fan of Marsh in the recruiting class. I watched several of his tape. He's a good receiver. And I follow your room there. I know what you got in running back. What about tight end, man? Colson Loveland, right? One of the best tight ends in college football last year. I can say that. He was a pretty darn good tight end, right? But
the best.
Where do you go now? He ain't no Max Clare, I'll tell you that. But where do you go now?
So it's gonna be, it's gonna be tight end by committee. More than likely. Hogan Hansen is a guy who did kind of prove himself last year. He made some plays, but Klein is still there. Priestcorn, once he's healthy, he was highly touted. He's expected to be really good. And then, of course, Marshall. These are some of the guys that, I think are going to be that committee really at tight end for Michigan that really get the job done for us. But Hogan Hansen, I think, would be the number one guy right now, in my opinion. But, there is a fall camp to come.
Yeah. It hasn't been a secret, man. Here at Ohio State, our tight end room has changed drastically and over the last couple years, man. Last year, G. Scott got the job done, did what he did, but we got Jelani Thurman, got Will Kazmarek coming from Ohio over there, big-time blocker. But the biggest one, man, Max Clare, the pickup in the portal, number one tight end in the portal. All we're hearing over here is number one draft pick potential with his route running ability and his, willingness to block as well. So, things picked up for us over here at the Ohio State's tight end room. So I was curious as to, what you guys got coming behind, Colson Loveland. He was your guys' go-to a lot on offense. You lost your number one, target on offense.
Yep.
And you got a new quarterback coming out, and who's a new quarterback? One of their best friends, man, that tight end position. Yeah. So yeah, I was real curious there. Mello, anything to add there? Or Maze, go ahead.
What I was saying is, Johnny brought this up, I believe on his show Sunday, but one of the things that we don't want to see is you guys utilize Max Clare like he can be, utilized, right? Because if you add that on to the fact that, as Mello brought up, the number one receiver, there's no, I have no delusions about who the best wide receiver in college football is. And he just happens to play for the other state, unfortunately. Even though he is a maven for offensive pass interference, he never gets called for this, but I'm not gonna die on that hill. But you pair that with obviously Carnell Tate is a highly touted guy, supposed to be, really the next guy before you got JJ, and then if Max Clare can add to that and it kind of be a three-headed monster, along with what the other weapons you have on offense, that can be something scary. But I just hope it goes the way it's been going. You guys don't look at your tight ends like we do, and everything is copacetic.
I can assure you they're going to use Max Clear, especially because how they're going to play the wide receivers, right? So, that's why one of the reasons Max Clear wanted to come here, he's never going to see a double team. He's always going to have a mismatch on a linebacker or a smaller safety, and he runs routes like a wide receiver. So, and Julian Sain, you saw put that ball down the seam on him in between Igbenogson, Sonny Styles, and Caleb Downs, right on the money for a touchdown. So, I think we're going to see that. And what it's going to do is going to free up JJ, really, to be honest with you, because once people realize we could take JJ away, but we'll just die by somewhere else. And, that's what happened in Cotton Bowl. Really, they took JJ out the game, but Carnell Tate went off and Mecca went off.
Yeah. Man, I had a feeling.
Bro, hold on. I'm sorry. I know this is your show. I don't want to take over at all. It's Mike Green. Why are you so mad, bro? Just what like happened? A whack.
What's he
team
doing?
Up North fan. Hold on. Whack Team Up North fan excuses all JJ pass interference, but he's the best in college football. I'm sorry. Right? I led with this dude is the best wide receiver in the country.
Hey, we're well aware.
You just can't say. Just don't have any bit of objectivity is what you're saying, Mike. Just call him the best. That's it. That's what you're saying, right? Bucky's dad. Come on, bro.
Hey, you keep your eyes on that. You keep your eyes on that chat. That ain't going to be the last one you want to.
I know, man. No objectivity. Right?
I promise you, dude.
Let me not be objective at all. JJ is the Messiah. He's the second coming.
Nah, we can't use the Messiah with JJ. Right. You can say something else, but
right. Let me not be blasphemous because I know you guys. Also,
hey, if we had more time, I was about to go on a spiel how I just had a feeling we weren't going to have near enough time because I want to go through your whole roster, but we got to get to this punishment thing. So we're gonna. I'm just gonna ask about the defense overall, maybe a couple specific questions, but I wanted to respond. If we had more time, I would respond to your JJ pass interference and give my feelings there, but not enough time, right? So, one of my last questions I have on offense is, number one, man, I got to ask you, how do you think your running backs perform last year? And then what's the expectation this year?
First of all, this is a setup of a question. Obviously, the running back room last year wasn't what the Don wasn't the Don last year. It was very disappointing what we got out of Donovan Edwards last year. Mullings, I got to give him credit where it's due. He was he probably should have gotten 80% of the carries last year. I don't know what it was, but it didn't feel like he got 80%, and he definitely should have. He saved us against USC. He obviously had the important, bounce out against you guys when it looks like
hold on Jack Sawyer. Yeah, you're right.
Again, objectivity is key. Mike Green, where you at, Mike Green? But yeah, I think the running back room wasn't great last year. This year, though, I expect big things. We got obviously the transfer from Alabama, Justice Haynes. We're expecting big things out of him. Looks like he might be the lead back. We'll see, though. It is another fall camp to come. And then Jordan Marshall, the way he performed against Alabama, it's really the only game we got to see him in. But in that game, he was big, and we know who he was supposed to be coming out of high school. So I think it'll be a lot better than it was last year.
My question for you, and this is what I'm hoping doesn't happen. So Bryce could run, right? We all know he's elusive. He's super freakishly athletic, right? Then you got the two-headed running backs in the backfield. What I don't want to see is you guys bring a Urban Meyer offense to your team where you're running the quarterback and you have almost a triple threat out of the backfield with that.
Why you don't want to see that?
Huh?
Why you don't want to see that?
Because that's going to cause a lot of problems, honestly. Like I think
Chip Lindsay,
if you guys run an offense similar to that, you might steal a few extra games during the season because it'll be really hard to stop that.
Whoa, Mello. You cannot bring up stealing to a Scum fan, dude. They do
Oh,
not
man, my
respond
bad.
to that good,
My
bro.
bad.
Do not.
That's
Yo.
a good segue, bro.
Yo,
That's a good
bro.
segue.
Hey, yo.
You like that? I threw the alley for you. I'm
Right,
D-Wade
right.
with LeBron. Just come down.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, man, I'm curious to see what that what's the Alabama transfer's name again? Running back, man.
Justice
a lot of
Haynes.
Haynes. He's from
Justice
right here,
Haynes.
Buford, Georgia.
Yeah, I
Where
thought maybe
he
the Buckeyes.
outperformed Caleb Downs at running back in
No, he
the state
didn't.
of-
I was here.
That's the way I knew you.
I was here. I
that's
went to
what-
the
bro.
games. Caleb Down is just ridiculous. He's a ridiculous freak athlete.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what he does this year. You know, I thought he had a lot of
He's good,
potential coming out of his recruiting class, so we'll see. And of course, Jordan Marshall. We're well aware of Jordan Marshall. But
Mr. Ohio.
switching over, switching over, man. You know, your offense, a lot hinging. What's your new quarterback going to do, right? A lot hinges there. We have a similar sentiment over on the Buckeye side, maybe for different reasons, different things, but we're there on that. Switching over to the defensive side of the ball, man, you guys lost some dogs, to put it bluntly. You lost some dogs, man. And what I want to ask you about, first, let's start at the safety position, man. Who is it, Moore, right?
Yep.
The Moore, the injury.
Yep.
Been hearing a lot of things about him coming back. What's your thoughts on your safety position? And you think he really is coming back?
So when they showed that film during spring, I was like, yo, there's no way he's gonna be ready for fall ball, right? But I think last week or the week before, they just released something that said he was back near on 100%. So, you know, I'm gonna have some. I hope that he is able to make it back, but I don't think we necessarily need him to make it back. And hear me out. The Metcalf kid, I think he's every bit as good as advertised. The transfer from Mississippi State, I believe. He and his brother, the younger brother, is a corner, I believe, but the safety, TJ Metcalf, I think he's the real deal. And then you have Brandon Hillman, who I think is going to be a missile out there, seek and destroy. Maybe not the coverage safety that, you know, some of these other guys are, but definitely in run support, definitely anything coming across the middle, he's there. So I think we'll be all right. And obviously Jaden Mangum is still there. There are guys that are still there at safety. Losing, you know, the guy who can cuss your quarterback.
It ruined that game.
Yo, that's a hit. You know, that's gonna hurt a little bit, but I do think as far as safety goes, we're good. Corner, we obviously lost. Oh,
Who's wearing number 2?
That's freshman Shamari Earls, a dog, by the way. I expect him to see the field a lot this season. Whether if he's well. By the way, did y'all see squirrel moment? I think he should. Squirrel moment though. Did you see Andrew Marsh issue the challenge to your guy?
No, did he?
They got history apparently, so we'll see. All right, but anyway,
you know their moms are cool. Their moms are really tight.
Yeah, they're both from Houston area, right?
She was on Pop's Pod. She came on Pop's Pod and talked on our channel.
Oh, dope.
Moms.
Yeah.
She'll be a part of D1 Moms.
Who is?
Andrew Marsh's mom.
On your channel?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Disgusting work.
Nah.
I'm
There's a whole bunch of different moms.
I'm joking. That's cool, man. That's cool, yo. Yeah, so corner, I think we're good. Jair Hill, as much as he got a lot of flack last year, but he was there for a bunch of those plays. The touchdown against Washington, if he doesn't slip, that's an interception. He was in great position before he slips. You know, he may be a little handsy, but you guys know about handsy corners. You got a grade A molester on your right now.
And here he goes. I was waiting for the repetitive shot.
Shamari,
you know, he's been doing the one shooters.
Physical guy. I like him, but he's a freshman, so you know, take that with a grain of salt. And then yeah, so I think we're good, man. Let me say that.
I love Shamari Earls. I'm gonna be honest. He's not better. He's not Devin Sanchez, but he's gonna be a beast. He has the size. He has the physical attributes.
Now I like Devin Sanchez. I'm gonna be real. I like Devin Sanchez a lot.
Yeah,
but Shamari's gonna be a monster, bro. I'm telling you.
I think we can all just agree now, right, that we're never going to agree on each other's players and which one's better. It's never going to happen, except for one, Jeremiah Smith and
Caleb Downs.
M3. You got to give us Caleb Downs, bro. I mean,
well, no, he's the best safety between those two teams. He's best safety in the country.
Yeah.
But what? I'm just
there's
joking.
no but.
Don't do it. Okay, don't do it. Okay.
I don't want Mike Green to get me.
Yeah, man. It sounds like you guys. It sounds like you got some stuff to work with there. Like you guys got your hopes up pretty good on your secondary there with some freshmen and some transfers coming in, and possibly Rod Moore coming back. Biggest question for me, probably Mello, probably for everybody watching on defense is, man, that defensive line, in particular defensive tackles. 2 first-round defensive tackles gone. I mean, our entire defensive line drafted away. I don't know. I'm not that caught up on your D-line to know how many of your starters got drafted away. I know 2 for sure, probably 3 on your edges, I think. But tell us how you're going to reload there, man, and make up for 2 first-round draft picks, bro, because that's I'm not sure that's even doable.
Well, the thing is, you don't replace Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, right?
Yeah.
Those it's not every season you get 2 bona fide stars like that, and in the case of Mason Graham, an absolute superstar, right, in the middle. So we're not looking to necessarily replace them like one for one, because we can't. But the thing is, we have depth now. We're deeper than we were even at that position a season ago. We got the 2 transfers, Pierce and Payne, right? There's of course, there's Moore, who I know Buckeye fans love and adore, Mr. Moore, and what he had to say at Big Ten Media Days. TJ Guy, and you heard my coach SHERRONE Moore talk about possible 10-man rotation, and I think that's real, because once you get behind those guys, there's Etta. There, I didn't even mention Rayshawn Benny, who is the best defensive tackle on the team, or interior lineman. So
I heard of him. Yeah.
I heard Jay-Sean Barham. They're talking about playing him some on the edges. So I think that's the deepest position actually for us, is defensive line coming into the season.
Oh, wow.
I hope you guys do go 10 deep. We saw what happened when Tennessee tried that. They got
cooked. We come on, bro. Don't. First of all, Tennessee is a joke of. Never mind. I'm not gonna flame them, but that was a massacre. What happened to them? I was not
worried. I'm gonna be honest.
Really?
I was worried because that was the first time I ever heard of rotating offensive linemen in a game, a playoff game against a elite.
Shout out the maniac, man.
What'd he say?
OSU fans always cry.
You know what he said, dude. He's always talking about. He's always talking about OSU fans crying. That's what
he loves us, man. You got to be understand. You got to understand. He's from the Bronx. He loves OSU fans.
That's my guy, man.
He's secretly lying to himself.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Transition. But
I'm not agreeing with him lying to himself. I'm just saying. Yeah. All right.
But before we transition, man, let's get one more question on this upcoming season. Mello, if you got one, mine would be this. It would be that, what's that one area, man, that one position group for the Buckeyes, man? For me, I don't have as much worry as most Buckeye fans, but it's our D-line. 4 starters to NFL. How's that going to turn out? I'm very confident in that, but it's still, if I have to pick a group, it's going to be the defensive line for the Buckeyes. For you, man, where are you at on your team? What's that one position
it's
group?
The opposite for us. I think the offensive line is the one position group with the most questions. They didn't play great last year, and we need them to play out of their mind, because there's going to be, in theory at least, a freshman quarterback starting for Michigan. So I think that is the position group that I think has the most questions. That's the one that we need to be the best.
And to be honest with you, though, with that schedule, I mean, you really only need them to be best on like 2 games.
Exactly. I agree with you. And that's something I don't think a lot of people are taking into context or into consideration, rather, is the schedule affords us to be able to wean a guy like Bryce in after week 2. There, of course, I don't want to overlook USC. I don't want to disrespect them or anything like that, or Nebraska. I expect those teams to come out and play hard. And I'm not saying that those are guarantee wins, but outside of those two, until we get to y'all at the end, it's the perfect situation for a new quarterback.
So what's your expectations? Do you guys expect to be in the CFP? And if so, if you guys happen to miss the CFP, how do you feel about your coaching staff if that happens?
Yeah. So I think the CFP is realistic. And even more than realistic, whatever I can say more than realistic, that's not I expect to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just under expectation and over realistic. You know what I mean? So somewhere in that purgatory of those two words.
Yeah.
But then because I can see 2 losses, I can see 3 losses. We can have 3 losses, and if with 3 losses are you getting into the CFP? That's where it gets kind of fishy. Now, granted that things have changed in the way that they're going to do it, so it's possible, but I don't know. But I think the ceiling is high, right? Like if we especially if we beat Oklahoma, if Michigan beats Oklahoma week 2, then my position changes. By the way, then it's now we expect to make the playoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes sense, man. Well, I mean, I sincerely hope that worst case scenario happens to you, not like personally you as a person, but for the team you root for. You know what I'm saying? I hope that doesn't happen. My prediction is that you guys, you actually don't win a game this year. But next year, I'm just joking, bro. I'm just joking. Bro, that's just this little troll comment in there because we're gonna switch over, man. Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of this is contingent, right? A lot of these things, there's a decision that's expected to be coming down. We can probably say sooner than later now. Finally, right? I'm not sure when we've actually been able to say that, but that is probably going to affect a lot, man. The dynamic of your team, the mentality you guys have, your recruiting class, whether you can even play in the CFP or not, right? And a lot of dynamic there, a lot of opinions being thrown around, a lot of facts being thrown around on message boards and this and that, and a lot of opinions, man, a lot of details. So it's kind of hard to even ask you where to start on this subject. But let's just start for now from the beginning. And let me just ask you this. Did you guys do anything wrong?
I like where you started at. That's the perfect question.
That's a fucking awesome. I'm sorry. That's awesome. I feel like I'm in the first 48 interrogation chair here. All right.
You're with a seasoned vet over here.
Hey, get me a Big Mac. I'll tell you everything. All right. So did Michigan do anything wrong?
Just be honest. You already
Connor Stallions, right?
Don't do it. Don't.
All right. So look.
Okay.
Michigan has some culpability here at the very least.
All right.
Right. And I've said this. Let me not shy away from this because I've said this on my channel. Right. All the real ones who follow me know that I've said this. I'm not a Connor Stallions fan. I think Connor Stallions was good at his job, though. I think he was excellent at his job. I don't think he's a hero. In fact, I think if Michigan has to suffer any consequences, then we should hate Connor Stallions. Let me say that. I don't give him any praise. Except for being good at his job, and that was to decipher signs. He's obviously very good at that. The method that he used to get said signs is what's in question, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And here's where I stand. If they can't tie Michigan, the university, coaching staff, anybody else to the purchase of tickets to go to other games for other people, right? There is no tie back to Michigan, and then I think you can't be talking about vacating wins and bowl bans, right? Postseason bans.
Yeah.
However,
go
ahead. All right,
No,
because I've argued
I
with
got,
my own co-host about this, Kinetic,
yeah.
about this, right? Who is staunch, like, oh, this is just a money thing, whatever. But if it's proven that Michigan had knowledge of, paid for, especially if they paid for, right? If they funded this in any way, then you and the rest, not you specifically, but everybody who's beating the drum for the hammer has some validity. Do I think the hammer is coming? No. Do I think Michigan is culpable? Let me say that. I don't want to say Michigan did something wrong. Michigan is culpable in some way. Yes. So let me stop there. I'm gonna let you guys go.
So I can respect your position to a certain aspect of it. Sounds like you are in the position of, hey man, let's wait until I see some facts. Let me see some facts here. And you aren't necessarily considering certain things to be facts that other people are considering to be facts, right? Because what I heard you say is that if, right, this investigation comes out and this evidence is found to be factual in the fact that, right, Scum did these things, you're going to be upset and you're going to say that they probably deserve most likely what is getting handed down to them. Where you're at now is you're not sure you believe everything coming out about how connected your school is to this. Now, with that, I have a follow-up question. I got to know, man, because I think you started to go somewhere that I was hoping you wouldn't, in the sense of, like, logically, it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it does to you, but were you about to say that Connor Stallions did it and was guilty, but the school is not? Is that where you're at?
I was going that route, but I stopped short of that because at the end of the day, Jim Harbaugh hired these people, or the school hired these people, right? That's the same. That's where you get into the conversation of control of the program, right? Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that,
lack of institutional
exactly
control.
Lack of institutional control.
That's
right?
A big one, though.
That sure, yeah. So that's why I stopped short of saying, this is a Connor Stallions and Connor Stallions alone, because here's the skinny, bro. They hired Bo's kid, what's his name? Young Shivity youngster, Skimmy the Schemer, right? Who all they had to do was do a quick Twitter search or X search, whatever you like to call it, and see that he was maybe not above board, right?
The racist kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
They hired the guy who was trying to meet the young person, right? So in that situation, right, with all of those situations, right, and then you get to Connor Stallions, there's at least a dereliction of duty in terms of the vetting process, right? Yeah. And I've said that on my channel too. These are all things that I've said on my channel previously, right?
Yep.
But here's where I am this is where I put my flag down. I stamp this. Him sending people to games, whether they got 4K film or not, right, didn't win Michigan those football games and let the crowd go crazy here. Because, and I've mentioned this on you guys' show before, so much has to happen in this much time, right? And it's crazy that Jack Sawyer just came out and said, the last 2 times they beat us straight up, and then our sophomore year, we ran this play, blah 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 blah, whatever. But even then, the most damning thing he said was, we had never run this play. Like, take time, say that out loud, do some critical thinking, right?
That's because he knew the signs, because he already mastered all the signs.
Hold on, bro. But again, that was his job, right? Everybody had that person to do that job.
Went to attain that is what's in question.
Okay. So Connor Stallions, being Connor Stallions, replied to that. He said that they gave the sign for tight end and they gave the delay sign. that's not a bunch. That's not a bunch of genius stuff. Anybody on the field, you playing linebacker or whatever position, could ascertain or
I'm gonna
break
say
that down.
Why it means a tight end,
right? And delay, right? At least he said 99% of offenses, right? At least, and this is somebody who did this for a living. He literally broke down signs for a living. We saw the book, we saw the videos, all of those. So that's where I'm at with it.
So do you think Jim Harbaugh had no knowledge of this? Because I mean, who gives a sign guy a game ball after a win from the head coach? Because that did happen.
A sign guy who did a great job, right?
Okay, listen. All right, here we go. So, man, what I see a lot is a lot of you guys, by you guys, I mean, Team Up North fans, giving a lot of benefit of the doubt, right? Let me read you something. Jim Harbaugh, 2-game suspension in 23, and 1 year probation, 4-year show cause. Sherrone Moore suspended twice. Connor Stallions resigned in 23. Dressy Mentor, 1 year show cause for recruiting violations. Steve Clinksdale, 2-year show cause recruiting. Matt Weiss, indicted 24 felonies. Santa Ono, resigned. Fallout, Florida hire. Josh Gaddis, fired by Miami and Maryland, now at Syracuse. Jim McClellan resigned in 24 from CMU because of that. The QB coach, Greg Scruggs, resigned following a DWI. Denard Robertson resigned following a DWI. Partridge fired. Alex Ude, Shimmy Schembechler and the Twitter stuff. So, man, if I'm a fan of a football team and I see all this stuff going on, are all those things connected? No, they're not, right? But if I, as an Ohio State fan, let's say Ohio State has that list that I just read out, they will no longer earn the benefit of the doubt from me at all. So if there is something out there and it's not necessarily a fact, but there's enough evidence and enough people backing it up to see Connor Stallions on a sideline at a CMU game and coaches destroying evidence, like why are coaches directing players to lie to NCAA? Like there's so many of those areas there. And in each one of those areas, every time I have this conversation, the other side gives the benefit of the doubt. But my question is, with that list, man, when does the benefit of the doubt stop? Because the doubt has been the fact so many times.
Let me say this. When you became a fan of the other state, both of you, I don't know how old you were when you did or whatever it was, but for me, I can talk specifically about myself. I was 7, 8 years old when I became a fan of Michigan, right? While everybody around me was a fan of that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. All right. That said, I became a fan of Michigan not because of the dude on the sideline, not because of who was the provost or the president, not because of who was the strength and conditioning coach, not because of who carried the damn chains in terms of, the down chains, none of that, because of the football, bro. And that's where I think that people are misjudging Michigan fans. Like, it's not our responsibility to feel a way about those people in office positions or about the assistant coach or about the dude stealing signs. I don't care about that. What I care about is beating Ohio State year after year. What I care about is challenging for national championships and Michigan being, where they are in terms of the most wins all time, 12, 13 national championships, however you want to rack it up. I don't like, as a fan, I'm just talking about as a fan. Now, my responsibility as a YouTuber or whatever, and somebody who is in this space may be a little different, but I'm a fan still doing this, right?
Exactly.
As a fan, it's not my responsibility to give rats what about any of that. Now,
we're going to clip that.
I respect you guys because I respect you guys, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to act like, fans of your program shouldn't feel away, especially after losing when this cheating allegedly took place, right? You guys should have a visceral, emotional reaction. First of all, the clock hit 0 and y'all didn't have more points than Michigan 4 years in a row. Let's start there. Then the clock kicked 4 years in a row. Y'all didn't have a higher score than Michigan. And it just so happens that maybe somebody on Michigan staff was out here doing some nefarious things, cheating. Let's call it what it is, cheating, right? So absolutely, you should have this. Everybody over here, Tyler, Sharice, I don't know if she's here. That's my best friend. She's my bestie. Matt Steely, you know, all of these guys, Schrock, should have visceral reactions to that. Me, on the other hand, until the hammer drops, I just sit back, and my responsibility is to point and laugh. Now, I understand your position, but my position is of the total opposite. I didn't become a fan because of the band or the coach or anything like that. Charles Woodson and those guys made me fans.
So for me, this attests to everything. You just admitted everything about the typical Team Up North fan. And that's why you get the response that you get.
Right.
And that's why you see some of the fans, they're making lighthearted of the hammer, which is, in my opinion, coming for sure, because you can tell in the language of the NOA and everything.
When Bryce starts game one, you just have my Zell ready.
Yeah, let's talk about that right there. So me
Hey,
and Nate,
whoa. We got 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
That's
5
fine.
minutes.
All right.
But we got a little bet that Bryce Underwood will never take a snap.
I mean, shoot, dude. I see people. I have made some of my own Buckeye fans mad for not being too harsh at you, Maze Madman. But I respect you, bro. I am this way on this show because I'm trying to have a show.
Of course.
And we're never going to agree. We didn't come here to find mutual ground. I was genuinely interested in your thought. Do I agree with it? No, not at all. Do I have responses to several things that you have said? I do. Don't got the time. And my responses aren't going to lead to us agreeing. It is well known. You guys don't think it was that big a deal, or you think some facts are made up or whatever. I think that it was a scumbag move that didn't just affect on-field play. It affected people's lives, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. That's what I care about more than anything. I might not be your typical, I'm not too, the Ohio State scum stuff battle does bug me, but what it did off field to Ryan Day and some of these players and other coaches and other teams, and I believe this ought to be factual, is what is the disgusting part to me, right? So, but I believe everything, like I'm the opposite of you, M3. Like I believe that worst case scenario in every one of these things that Connor did, the worst thing, that's like, I believe that is a fact. I believe it's about to come out. I believe the hammer's coming. You don't believe that. We don't believe the same thing. We're never going to come to the same agreement. But yeah, it's going to come and we're going to see, right? I think the hammer's coming. M3 does not, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I enjoyed the heck out of this show, man, hearing the other side of it, bro.
Every time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always a good show when Maze comes on. But my last words to this is that I know you like to call Columbus a cesspool, but truly the real cesspool is and I'm gonna break it down. It's not just the football program. It's not just Juwan Howard putting his hands on people because he has emotional instability. It's not just what you were doing with cheating around Santa Ono tweeting and not being professional. It's also that terrorists feel safe in Ann Arbor and trying to harm American citizens. It's the whole compass. The whole compass is not just the sports. It's we're talking about the totality of that city is a complete cesspool, bro. There's not terrorists coming into Columbus that we're finding out about.
All right, first of all,
in general.
First of all, I'm not gonna dive into I'm not gonna do it. But that's a fair point.
And then Mozzie Smith with his gun charge.
Best part of Michigan is underwater. Damn it.
I don't even know.
Bro, how that's somebody's grandfather talking like that? Come on, man.
But no, Maze, you're awesome to have on this channel. I think you're very level-headed. Your temperament is perfect. I'm glad that you have an opposite perspective. It makes it more entertaining. And it sucks that we got to end the show early or earlier than we wanted to, because we could have kept talking for probably another hour.
Yeah. Hey, after these decisions get made, man, we're going to get you back on here and see your response then. Maybe take the maybe take the boxing gloves off, since people in the chat want to see a little blood. We can give them a little bit of blood and still be friends afterwards. We're men.
Right.
That's what we do, bro. We ain't like that. But again, man, appreciate you coming on here, bro,
Yes,
and having this
appreciate y'all,
conversation with us. We'll be in touch. Get you back on here. I never said this one time. Please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button.
Oh, we didn't hit the super chats, bro.
On both. Yeah. Okay. Crap. Yeah, I'll get to that.
Hey,
Here we
Maze,
go.
shout out where they can find you. Go check out Maze. He's not only
Everywhere.
is he very entertaining, he's an awesome human. He's a great dude. He just happens to root for a team that we don't like, but as a human, he is the man. I talk to him daily.
Yeah.
Thanks. Shout out to I'm sorry. Everywhere at Maze Man.
Yeah. Readings by Dom. Thanks for the $5, man.
The
Question.
Dom father.
Yeah, when the group hypocrisy and relentless crying of Buckeye fans end, delusion as if OSU has a squeaky clean resume. Not appreciate the $5, man. I'm going to put that in my fund to go to some Buckeye games this year. Mike Green, thanks for the $4.99. It's all good, M3. We have Team Up North, PST, whatever, to come on here is respected. Now I would throw an egg at your car driving by, but you good, all love. Hey, hey, we share that sentiment, Mike Green. Mike Green, thanks again for the $1.99. M3. He gave South Carolina signs to beat Tennessee.
Hey, Tennessee deserved that.
Wow. Mike Green, thanks for the $4.99. Cheating gave y'all mental momentum. Y'all was dead in the water. 15-16 beat down. Jimmy took this opportunity as his last swing. M3, come on, man. M3, get your head out of the gutter. Think with logic here, bro. Don't let that fandom blind your. Take him glasses off, man. That's the problem, bro. No. Hey, we appreciate the heck out of you. We'll be in touch, man. Get you back on
No
here.
doubt, man.
Any
Appreciate you guys.
final words, M3? We're not going to give you the last word, but we'll give you a last word.
Final word is this. In late November, there's going to be a matchup between two rival teams. One wearing blue, one wearing this what they call scarlet here. The blue team will win.
Okay. All right. You heard his prediction. I know that's a surprise. Most of you thought he would pick another team, but believe it or not, he didn't. Right? Mellow.
I'm not surprised. I mean, last year he was the only one that came on our marathon that picked the team up north. Literally, the only fan.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't blame him until it's done on the field. Like, I can't call him crazy. I think the opposite. But I appreciate Maze for coming on. Go check him out, Maze Madman. He has the best Team Up North podcast out, period. It's not debatable. It's not even close, to be honest with you.
I appreciate that.
Appreciate y'all, man. Well, I'm not done. I'm doing a show with Nevada directly after this to tell you guys exactly why M3's team is screwed and the hammer is coming. So M3, tune in for that. We appreciate you guys for watching, everybody in the chat. But on that note, go Buckeyes. OH.
I-O.